All right, I got cut off. All right, so let me get right into the commentary of Cora Mastersbury. Okay, Cora Mastersbury has a long history of public service and commitment to the district. She is currently the Chief Executive Officer of the Recreation Wish List Committee. In this capacity, Mastersbury has helped lead Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, where youth in Washington, D.C. can learn about tennis. In 1980, she was appointed as the first woman on the three-member D.C. Boxing and Wrestling Commission, where she ultimately became chairman. Miss Mastersbury is a former University of District of Columbia political science professor and became and oh I'm sorry and began her career in Washington D.C. completing community projects the Anacostia and Shaw neighborhoods. All right, so she was a professor at UDC, and that's where I attended college for 2 semesters a year, and then I had to leave school due to my grandmother dying, and she was helping me go to school, and so I had to go to work, to help my family and to support myself. So she was my crutch, and I tell everybody if my grandmother, you know, was alive while I was a student there, I know I would have finished my degree because she was my backbone and my most, my greatest supporter. She was my motivation. I really didn't want to go to college. I wanted to work. I wanted to make money because we didn't have no money. I didn't have no money. I didn't come from a family with money, and so I wanted to hit the ground running and get my career started. But she was like, "Look, going to school puts you in better positions when you out in the world trying to get a job. So do me a favor." This how she got me there. She was like, "Look, go for a year. Now, if you like it, you stay. If you don't like it, then you go. At least you can say you did attend college, and if anything else, you could say that you studied at a university. So I was like, all right, I could do that. I got there and I loved it. So people ask me, well, why didn't you complete the task? Because that would have been a great way to to honor her legacy. And I'm like, well, I ain't have it in me to keep going, and financially, I couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on no scholarship. I was paying for my courses and to go to school, plus trying to, you know, uh, you know, uh, have a life, and I wasn't, the excelling student where I could do both. It was either one or the other. Either I had to work and leave school, which I end up doing, or I needed to focus all my attention on school. And with my grandmother being my backbone and support, I was able to do that. I worked on weekends. When she died, I had to go to work full time. So, but what really kind of threw me for a loop, and I think about it all the time. But, I as they say, take lemons and make lemonade. I think I did the best at that. Just taking what was given to me. I refuse to become a statistic and die out here in these streets or go to the prison system, giving them time out my life. My grandmother often said to me, you can read, you can write, you can comprehend, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got a brain. Figure it out on how to make it out here without going to the criminal side of things and, you know, getting yourself shot down or giving the system time out your life. Figure this out. That's your gift. Your gift is you can read, you can write, you can comprehend. So find your way and make a way for yourself. You know, even if it's not traditionally, something that you would like to do, figure it out. You know, and I didn't really know what that meant when she was saying it to me, but that's basically what I did. Everybody I came in contact with in my journey from then to now, you know, I have dialogue and I talk with them, and, I'm always looking for what's next that I can upgrade, in knowledge and not only just if I can get a job out this situation and up my pay grade or my earnings, but I'm really intrigued by information. You know what I'm saying? And so I think I have completed a lot in my run and in my journey, and that college degree is something that probably will be missing from my story. I mean, I'm good whether I get it or not. I'd have managed without it. I'd have made a way, and and it's legal. So, it's very unorthodox, and it's like you just got to get creative at times, and not be afraid to get information and to talk to people. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help. Have dialogue, have conversations, and, you know, don't be afraid to network. But, you got people that's, they can't get over. I'm not asking that dude for nothing, you know. So sometimes you could be too cool for school, or you think you all that you can't ask nobody for nothing, you know. And what I mean is I don't have to know you to get information from you if you're willing to talk to me about it, and that's called being a people person for the most part. I don't care wherever I go at in the world, I can make friends and I can hold a conversation with somebody, and I ain't got to know you from the time that I seen you, and I can have a one encounter with you, and never see you again, so I don't have to know you to network with you if you willing to talk and give information. You know what I'm saying? So that's exceptional in itself. And a lot of people can't do that or afraid to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I tell people you can't be sensitive and reserved when you from the belly of the beast. And the belly of the beast is the hood, you know, and you gotta have and you have to have by nature an aggressive demeanor with you to a degree. You gotta approach everything like your life depend on it, and that's how I live and that's how I move. Everything is a life or death situation in my mind. Because therefore, if I don't put it in that perspective, and then I'm going to approach it to be a lack situation, as a lack situation, and I'm not going to do that. Therefore, I'm not going to give my best. I'm not going to approach it with the same enthuse that it need to be if I'm just reserved about it. So I hope I help somebody with that. You know what I'm saying? So all right, so where I left off at. Uh okay. Okay, Miss Mastersbury is a former University District of Columbia political science professor and began her career in Washington, D.C., completing community projects, the Anacostia and Shaw neighborhood. Miss Mastersbury worked as a counselor for teenage girls with Operation Sisters. A Ward 8 resident, Miss Mastersbury received a Bachelor of Arts degree from Texas Southern University and a Master's of Arts degree from Howard University. Okay. So she's a professor, so she's uh I don't know if she a PhD or what, so I don't know if she's doctor, but it don't say it, so you can't address people. Usually professors have PhDs or master degrees, so it don't say it here. So, I was getting ready to call her Dr. Mastersbury, but Mrs. Berry is at the forefront in the current national movement of Black women leaders advocating for pro democracy reform and voting rights advancement. She has also been a champion in addressing the health disparities in the Black community as evidenced by the disproportionate numbers of Black deaths from COVID-19. Among her initiatives and in collaboration with DC and private sector health partners, she brought the first full family Don't Miss Your Shot vaccination program to Ward 8. All right, so she was very much a figure in DC, in the community and on the university level. She taught political science at um, my school that I attended. I ain't gonna say I'm an alumni because I didn't finish. But a school that I attended, UDC, University of District of Columbia. She was a political science professor, and then she went to Texas Southern, uh, and she got master's degrees from Texas Southern and Howard University. So, so this was her identity before she came in contact with Marion Barry. And I'm curious again how they met. Was it at a party or was it at a some kind of conference or something like that? So I'm always interested in, okay, you know who 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 saw who first and who thought who was sexy. I like the intimate details. That's what I'm trying to say. Basically, I'm nosy. That's what I'm trying to say. It is what it is. So, all right. This is a picture where her and former Mayor Anthony Williams, and Anthony Williams was also the Secretary of Agriculture. Um, I want to say under Papa Bush Senior, President Bush Senior, and that's Hillary Clinton. And so yeah, she was a fixture in the political world, and she rubbed elbows with the elite of DC, and as all educators do, and professors, they run in a circle. All these people are super intelligent, and so they all be in their own community of a circle that they operate in, and so yeah, so I just wanted to give some background on her, and just really see what was going on with her before she became Mrs. Marion Barry, So salute to her for her accomplishments and her work and bringing a tennis facility to DC. And, again, she was the first one that brought Serena and Venus here. And they had like a tournament that they were the judges of. This was like, I want to say mid 90s or early 90s. So, yeah, that's how long that facility been around. And it's been 30 years now because it opened in 1980, same year that Horace and Dickies opened their shop right there on 12th and H. I just did uh, something on Horace and Dickies, the owner, Dickie, uh, and people often wonder who is Horace. Horace is his wife, father. They were the ones that initially opened the business together, and then his wife stepped in as his partner. I guess her dad took ill, but they kept the name as it was, and here you are 30 years later, and his name is Shannon, his last name. But Dickie was his nickname, in the streets, and he was actually buried last Thursday on the 17th, at Ebenezer Church, and Horse and Dickies will always be a DC staple in the community, and they serve the best fish, in the city, far as I'm concerned, especially off the late night when you was coming from a club and you had the munchies, and if you felt like fish and not breakfast food, that was the spot. And it was nothing to come there 2 in the morning, and it was a line outside the spot, just like you were in a lunch rush in the middle of the day. That's how popping his fish was. And the secret was he cooked this fish in cornmeal batter. You know what I'm saying? So that was like his signature mix that he put together, and and the rest is history. So Cora Masters is our person that we're honoring for Black History, and I got so many DC gems that I can bring at y'all, and I am gonna bring at y'all because this is what I often talk about, when I'm having conversations and dialogue with my circle of people or in general. And I had a friend that I used to date. She said to me, you're like a DC historian. You're like a DC historian. And I told her, and I tell a lot of people that I come in contact with, if I could do it over, it's like you don't know what you want to do early on, and you still trying to figure it out. But if I had choices that I could make happen, I think I would have been a history professor, because I love history, especially about my city and my town, and everywhere that I done journeyed to. I like to talk about the events, what happened, and I just like reflecting in general. So I think I would have made a great history professor. And so now, indirectly, I get to teach history, if you will. When I dig up relevant history on the culture and iconic people of DC and in general. So indirectly, I'm doing what I kind of desired to do, something that I identified that I was good at, and would have been good at if I had thought about, hey, I will be great at that, and then pursued it, So looking back, if I was, you know, in the right mindset and determined, and that was in my mind of, hey, you could do that. I know I could have pursued that and really made that happen. But, life had a different journey for me. But indirectly, I'm kind of doing just that as I come on a podcast forum, and talk about iconic people and DC fixtures, And just for the record, I'm going to be doing my Black History 365 on my Tom Joyner because he started that quote. 365 a year, Black History is being made, and it's not just for a month. So I'm going to continue that. And I'm going to pick up where he left off because Tom Joyner is no longer on the air. He's retired. So uh, I'm going to continue to highlight Black culture and people that's trailblazing and making a difference. All right, we at 22 minutes, actually 50, no, we had 22, 53 minutes, 22 minutes, 53 seconds, and now is at 23 minutes. So we're going to close it out like that. Like, share, subscribe. This big day, Street's Finest, and I'm a holler. Today is President's Day. Happy uh, Barack Obama Day. And y'all enjoy your day off. And some of us guys have to still go to work. But enjoy your day. Kick back. It's nice out there. They talking about this close to 70. So I'm going to go out and get some air. And, and y'all might want to do the same. Get out the house. Get some fresh air. All right, peace. Let's go.